Welcome to Book Summary Podcast, your gateway to personal transformation. Each episode delivers big ideas from the world's most impactful books on mindset, productivity, and success, all in just a few minutes. Ready to turn knowledge into action? Let's get started.
Welcome, deep divers. We're about to embark on a journey that might just flip your entire understanding of money and happiness on its head. For so many of us, life feels like this endless chase for more, right? A bigger house, a fancier car, the latest gadget.
Always something else.
Exactly. But what if that relentless pursuit, isn't actually leading us to the fulfillment we truly crave?
That's the big question.
What if the key to a genuinely free and joyful life, one where you feel totally in control of your finances and your time, isn't about endlessly piling up wealth? What if it's about truly understanding what enough means for you?
It's such a compelling question, isn't it? And our source for today, the timeless classic, Your Money or Your Life, it argues precisely this point with revolutionary clarity.
Yeah.
It promises a clear and profoundly practical path to financial freedom. And, as Lynn Twist, author of The Soul of Money, she puts it so well. She says a lot of money books offer these trite tactics.
Like just little tricks.
Exactly. But this one, it radically transforms how you think about, relate to, and ultimately use your money. It's not just tips. It's like a fundamental re-education of your whole financial mindset.
It really is. It's about shifting our entire perspective. So for this deep dive, our mission is to explore this really powerful framework for personal financial transformation, right from the heart of this acclaimed program. We're diving deep into a crucial step one designed to reveal your true relationship with money and, maybe more importantly, align it with your deepest values.
And this is part of that whole 9-step program, right?
Yeah.
Which aims for what they call financial independence.
Exactly. And crucially, that's not just about having, a huge bank account or hitting some magic net worth number.
That's different.
It's about knowing how much is enough money for you to have a life you love now and in the future. That means, ultimately, no longer having to work for money, liberating your precious time for more happiness, more freedom, and more meaning. It's a complete redefinition of success, really.
And that redefinition, that liberation, that's absolutely key. It's about shifting from being, a passenger, often feeling like you're just reacting to economic forces.
Yeah, like a victim sometimes.
Right. To becoming the driver, making truly conscious, deliberate choices about how you spend your life energy. It's an internal shift first.
Yeah.
Before the external financial stuff really changes.
Absolutely. Now, this particular deep dive, we're focusing intensely on step 4 of the program. For many people, ourselves included, I think, this is really considered the heart of the program.
It really is.
Because it's where that deep self-reflection about your spending truly begins to shift your perspective in a really profound way.
And before this, you've already done some groundwork.
Right. In step 1, you've started to figure out how much you've earned in your lifetime and what you actually have to show for it, tangible stuff.
Which can be sobering in itself.
Oh, yeah. Then, steps 2 and 3, you've diligently tracked every single cent coming in and going out. And crucially, you've converted that spending into life energy, those irreplaceable hours you trade for money.
That life energy calculation is so powerful.
It really is. So you've gathered all the raw data. Now, in step 4, we put it to work. Okay, let's unpack this. Here's where it gets really interesting, because we delve into 3 powerful questions. Questions designed to actually transform your life, moving beyond just tracking numbers.
Right beyond the spreadsheets.
To truly understanding what those numbers mean for your well-being. It's like moving from just, seeing the symptoms to understanding the root cause.
And this transition, listener, this is such a pivotal moment in the whole financial journey. Because it forces you into this direct confrontation with these deeply ingrained societal norms, right? And that pervasive more is better myth that props up so much of modern financial advice.
So what are those norms? Standard financial advice, as the source points out, often misses the mark completely. It tells us, we all have different personal values and we should just follow our heart.
Right. If your heart wants a Lamborghini, just budget for it.
Exactly. If you love $100 dinners out every night or, a garage full of expensive cars, the advice is simply budget for them, work harder, earn more, afford them.
Right. It sounds kind of empowering on the surface.
But it subtly reinforces that consumerist trap, doesn't it?
Totally.
And the book just challenges this head on. It asserts the reality is that most of this is nonsense. We're all humans, much more similar than we are different.
That's a bold statement.
It is, but it's a crucial insight. They argue that, centuries of philosophy, decades of psychological research, they've identified a few genuine, universal human happiness factors.
Things that actually work for everyone. Yeah. Things like strong friendships, good health, feeling part of a community, the satisfaction you get from overcoming challenges with your own ingenuity, and importantly, feeling genuinely in control of your own life.
And those aren't tied to buying stuff.
Exactly. They're not tied to acquiring consumer goods. These are like the foundational pillars of well-being that work for everyone, regardless of culture or personal taste in cars.
That's a huge distinction, and it really turns conventional wisdom on its head, because historically, society has actively steered us away from being, citizens, people engaged in communities, contributing, and towards being consumers.
Yeah.
Just think about the word consume itself. To use up, waste, destroy, squander. It's kind of negative when you think about it.
It really is. And this whole consumerist mindset, it was largely a massive 20th century invention, right? Mostly to drive economic growth after World War II.
Yeah, keep the factories humming.
Exactly. Americans in particular have been led to believe it's not just their right to consume, but it's even like patriotic to shop, to keep the economic engine churning. That's a really powerful narrative to try and break free from.
It is, and what's fascinating is how insidious this paradigm can be, and how it ultimately traps us. The source points out that the only downside is that our rising expectations have outstripped our incomes, leaving the average consumer patriot increasingly in debt.
Ouch, consumer patriot.
Yeah, it creates this no-win situation where you're wrong if you buy and wrong if you don't. If you buy, you contribute to environmental issues, personal debt.
Stress.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't buy, you're seen as not participating, maybe even unpatriotic. It's this psychological bind that leaves very little room for individual freedom or real choice.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
And that's precisely why defining enough is so profoundly crucial. The book states it so clearly. Having more is an endless horizon. No matter how much you have, that voice of more would be better drives you to make acquisition the name of your game.
It's never satisfied, that voice.
Never. Without consciously defining what enough means for you, that voice of more becomes this constant restless whisper. It prevents genuine contentment. And the warning is stark. If we don't define enough, greed can gut our capacity for joy.
Wow. Got our capacity for joy. That's powerful.
It is. It shows that simply chasing more wealth won't make us happy. It'll just make us perpetually dissatisfied.
Which, raises that really important question that often gets glossed over in financial circles. Does more money actually translate to more happiness?
The $1 million question, or maybe the $75,000 question.
Exactly. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman's groundbreaking research gives us a pretty striking and maybe counterintuitive answer. He found that beyond a certain level of sufficiency, and yeah, he pegged it around $75,000 a year in the U.S., adjusted for purchasing power, obviously, more money doesn't buy more happiness.
It buys comfort, maybe security.
Comfort, definitely. Security, perhaps. But not necessarily an increase in day-to-day joy or life satisfaction.
That $75,000 figure, it always makes people pause, doesn't it? And the book shares this seminar data from way back in the 1980s, long before Kahneman's work, that really drives this home.
What did that show?
Participants, right, regardless of their current income level, consistently said they needed 50% more than I have now to be truly happy.
Always 50% more. The moving target.
Always. But here's the kicker, and this is truly eye-opening. When they were asked to rate their actual happiness on a 1 to 5 scale, their scores were consistently low, hovering between 2.6 and 2.8 across all income brackets.
Wow, from people making very little all the way up to millionaire.
All the way up, same low happiness score.
What's fascinating there, and maybe a bit disheartening, is the implication. It suggests most people are, in a sense, habitually unhappy. They can be unhappy no matter how much money they make. Even those who seem to be doing well financially are not necessarily fulfilled. It's not just about the income. It's about this deep disconnect between material stuff and genuine well-being.
Yeah, it really underscores the illusion that just acquiring more will somehow fill an internal void, when in reality, it often just shifts the focus of your dissatisfaction, right?
Exactly. You just want a better car to be unhappy in.
Right. So if more money doesn't automatically equal more happiness beyond that certain point, then what does that journey of spending and fulfillment actually look like?
Well, The book offers this brilliant visualization. It's called the fulfillment curve. It's figure 1-2 in the book, and it really helps understand this dynamic.
Okay, walk us through it.
So, in early life, the curve rises steeply. More possessions did genuinely mean more fulfillment back then.
Right, like a kid getting a warm coat or enough food, basic needs.
Exactly. Food, warmth, shelter. Getting those things provides immense satisfaction. And this period, it ingrained this powerful but ultimately deceptive pattern in our minds. Need. Look outside yourself. Get stuff. Get fulfillment.
Need, get, fulfill. Simple.
Simple, but powerful. And this pattern, once it's established, is remarkably hard to break. As we move beyond basic survival, into accumulating niceties and then outright luxuries, the curve starts to level out.
The plateau.
Right. At this plateau, each extra purchase, each new luxury, it provides diminishing returns. Less bang for your buck in terms of actual fulfillment.
The thrill costs more, wears off faster.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But that deep-seated belief, money equals fulfillment, it persists.
Yeah.
It's like the hedonic treadmill. You keep running faster and faster, but you feel like you're staying in the same place, happiness-wise.
Okay, so it levels off, but then what?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, a bit unsettling. Beyond that peak of the curve, it actually starts to decline.
Decline, so more spending leads to less fulfillment.
Exactly. This downward slope, which honestly many of us might be unknowingly living on, it's marked by more worry, more time, and energy commitment.
The cost of ownership, maintaining, insuring, cleaning.
All of it. The endless cycle. The book has a name for this downward spiral, this place where excess becomes a burden. It calls it clutter.
Clutter. Okay, define clutter in this context.
It's defined very specifically as anything that is excess for you. It's whatever you have that doesn't serve you, yet takes up space in your world.
And not just physical space, right?
Definitely not. Beyond the financial drain of buying and maintaining this stuff, think about the cognitive load, the mental energy it takes up.
Where to store it, cleaning it, feeling guilty if you don't use it.
Selling it, donating it. It's like this silent tax on your peace of mind. A constant hum of obligation in the background.
So the clutter is the drag down the slope.
Exactly. And the radical promise, then, lies at the peak of this curve. That peak is the point of enough.
Enough.
Enough. It means having everything we need. There's nothing extra to weigh us down, distract, or distress us. Nothing we've bought on credit, have never used, and are slaving to pay off.
That sounds peaceful.
Doesn't it? The implication of finding your personal enough is truly profound. The book says, enough is a fearless place, a trusting place, an honest and self-observant place.
Fearless. I like that.
It's about being content with what you have, appreciating what money does bring, but not buying anything that isn't truly needed or genuinely wanted. Finding your enough actually reverses that declining curve. It leads to more fulfillment because you've shed the burden of all that excess.
It's a complete paradigm shift then, from scarcity thinking to sufficiency, from constant striving to deep contentment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But often, our spending habits are far from conscious, right? Which brings us to the Gazingas pin phenomenon.
The Gazingas pin. I love this term. I'm sure many listeners are nodding along, picturing their own version right now.
Probably. So a Gazingas pin is defined as any item that you just can't pass by without buying, even though you don't really need it.
Like that weird gadget section near the checkout.
Exactly. The book uses this delightful example. You see a pink, wireless, waterproof, hazelnut-filled Gazingas pin.
Hazelnut-filled. Okay.
I know, right? And almost automatically, you buy it, you bring it home, you put it in the Gazingas pin drawer. We all have one of those.
Oh, yeah. Mine's full of cables I don't understand.
Right. Alongside 5 or 10 others you barely remember buying. And you promptly forget about it until the next shopping trip, when the exact same unconscious cycle repeats.
It's like an alien arm takes over, as the book says.
That's the perfect description. It encapsulates that unconscious habitual purchasing, driven by deep patterns, clever ads, fleeting desires, not genuine need or alignment with your values.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, it highlights how much of our precious life energy can just get siphoned off by these unconscious urges, fueled by external pressures, not internal purpose.
Yeah. Identifying these items, your personal Gazingas pins, that's the first critical step to reclaiming that energy.
So, deep divers, as you're listening, I really want you to think about your own Gazingas pins, those impulse buys, those things you accumulate out of habit or for just a momentary thrill rather than genuine need or the promise of true, lasting fulfillment. Recognizing these patterns, bringing them out into the light. That's the essential first step to truly transforming how you spend your most precious resource, your life energy.
Yeah.
And that brings us right to the core of step 4 itself, where we apply that conscious awareness to these patterns. Okay, now we get to the real meat of this deep dive. Step 4. It's actually titled 3 Questions That Will Transform Your Life.
Pretty bold title.
It is, but they argue it's true. This is where you take all that raw data from your monthly tabulation, remember? Where every single expense is translated into those hours of life energy.
Yeah, crucial step.
And you apply conscious awareness to it. Now, this isn't about deprivation. It's not about strict budgeting in the way we usually think of it. The whole process is based on consciousness, fulfillment, and choice.
Not judging our guilt.
Right. It's about asking some truly profound questions of each spending category you've identified in your tracking.
Okay, so for every category on your list, listen, let's say, for example, food restaurants, and you calculated that cost you maybe 25 hours of your life energy last month.
Okay.
You're going to ask yourself 3 critical questions about those 25 hours. They are, first, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to life energy spent?
Fulfillment in proportion to the hours.
Got it. Second, is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose?
Alignment with values. Okay.
And third, how might this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money?
Ah, the SI question.
Exactly. And for each of these 3 questions applied to each category, you'll then make a conscious decision. Should this expense increase for more fulfillment, decrease because it's not worth it, or stay the same? It's an active, ongoing evaluation month after month.
Let's really dig into that first question, because I think this is where the initial aha moments often strike people. Do I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to life energy spent?
Yeah, that hits hard.
It brings us right back to that powerful concept from step 2. Money is something you trade your life energy for. Now you're translating every dollar spent back into those unredeemable hours on your one-way journey from cradle to grave.
Unredeemable hours, that phrasing.
It's stark, isn't it? It's an undeniable reminder of the true cost of everything you buy. It's not just dollars, it's you. It's your finite time on this planet.
And that translation into life energy is what makes it so impactful. Let's use that magazine example again. Say you spend $80 a month on magazines.
Okay.
And your real hourly wage, remember, that's your wage, after factoring in all the hidden costs of working, like commuting, work clothes, maybe extra childcare.
Right, the real wage.
Let's say that real wage is $10 an hour.
Yeah.
That means you've essentially spent 8 hours of your life for this particular pleasure, 8 hours for those magazines. It immediately puts the cost into this deeply personal perspective.
8 hours, that's a whole workday for some people.
Yeah.
Just for magazines. And the book points out something else too, those magazines. They actually drain your energy 3 times over. Well, first, in earning the money to buy them those 8 hours. Second, maybe staying up late to read them, cutting into sleep. And third, feeling guilty when you haven't finished them by the time the next issue arrives.
Oh, the pile of unread magazines. The guilt is real.
Totally. It's this exhausting, guilt-ridden cycle. So this question forces you to confront, could those 8 hours have been better spent? Maybe taking a Friday afternoon off, spending real, undistracted time with your family, catching up on much-needed sleep.
Or maybe they were worth it.
Or maybe they truly were. Maybe they provided incredible joy or education, and they were worth every hour. It's a rigorous self-interrogation, not a prejudged answer.
And this is where those real-world anecdotes, the stories from people who've done this, become so invaluable. They offer this visceral insight. Consider IVU. She was a participant who grew up poor.
Okay.
And maybe understandably, she equated her self-worth with being perfectly dressed. She felt she needed to project this image of success.
Trying to overcome that past scarcity feeling, maybe?
Possibly. And consequently, she was buying several new outfits every month from expensive department stores, spending a lot of life energy.
Right.
Her blinding moment of awareness, as the book calls it, came from realizing, truly feeling, that she did not get fulfillment commensurate with the hours of life energy she put into keeping several department stores in the black.
Wow. Keeping the stores in the black. That's a way to put it.
Isn't it? So she stopped buying clothes she didn't truly need.
Yeah.
And guess what? The compliments didn't decrease. Her perceived self-worth didn't plummet.
Interesting.
It was an internal shift.
Yeah.
She realized her outward appearance wasn't actually tied to her happiness or worth in the way she thought. It was tied to an old, ingrained belief system from her past.
That's such a powerful insight for anyone realizing that, external validation often has very little to do with internal fulfillment.
Absolutely. And then there's the story of Hal N. He was a financial planner,
Oh, so he should know better, right?
you'd think. But he uncovered what the book calls mega gazingas pins, these major spending blind spots. He confessed to feeling profoundly bored and tired for years, despite his financial success.
Okay, like what?
For instance, he had this really expensive, prestigious office, costing him $2,900 a month.
Wow, that's a lot of life energy.
Huge amount. But he realized most of his actual business was done over the phone or at his clients' homes. Almost nobody saw him in this fancy office.
So the office was for?
For his ego, maybe? For appearances? When he honestly asked himself, applying this first question, if he was getting $2,900 worth of fulfillment or value from that expenditure of his life energy, the answer was a clear no.
So what did he do?
He moved his office home, cut the cost down to $750 a month. That's a massive saving, directly linked to this newfound awareness from asking that simple question.
Just from asking the question, wow.
But Hal's story continues. He revealed another significant blind spot, what he called his guilt money for his 9 children.
9 kids, okay.
Yeah. He felt guilty about not spending enough time with them, so he just gave them extra money whenever they asked. Yeah. Kind of throwing money at the problem.
A common coping mechanism.
Very common. But through this process, step 4, he recognized it as an addiction, with himself as the enabler. It wasn't really about expressing love. It was about soothing his own guilt.
That takes honesty to admit.
A lot of honesty. Changing that pattern, along with other adjustments he made from rigorously asking these 3 questions, it cut 50% off his total expenses.
50%.
50%.
Yeah.
And maybe surprisingly, he reported being a lot happier. These weren't just minor budget tweaks. These were substantial life shifts, rooted in finally understanding his motivations.
These are such clear examples of that waking up moment this first question can provoke, aren't they? It's where you genuinely realize, maybe for the first time, I'm not getting fulfillment in reality from this expenditure of life energy. And again, it's not about judgment. It's not telling yourself you're bad for spending money on coffee or whatever. It's about deep discernment. Observing without condemnation.
Separating the true from the false.
Exactly. It allows you to separate the true from the false in your spending habits, to see what genuinely nourishes you versus what merely drains your time, energy, and money. Okay, let's move to the second question, which I personally find even more profound. Is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose?
Yeah, this one goes deep.
This gets right to the heart of what the book calls financial integrity, which is about achieving a state where all aspects of your financial life are in harmony with your true values.
Harmony is the key word.
It really is. It's about developing your own internal yardstick for fulfillment, rather than being constantly swayed and manipulated by external forces, advertising, social media trends, keeping up with the Joneses.
All that noise.
All that noise. This question helps you tune it out and listen to yourself.
And it becomes this incredibly powerful feedback system for your life, doesn't it? Your monthly tabulation, with all those expenses categorized and translated into life energy. It acts like an unflinching mirror.
Yeah, nowhere to hide.
Exactly. It shows you precisely where your actual spending aligns with what you say your values are. Or, maybe more revealingly, where it directly conflicts. It's this tangible numeric measure of your integrity. It lets you see if you're truly walking your talk.
The source even uses that timeless biblical analogy from Romans 7.19 to capture this universal human struggle.
Which one is that?
I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway.
Yeah. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Or the wallet is open.
Right. It perfectly encapsulates that pervasive human tendency. We act contrary to our highest intentions. We have these aspirational values, but we often fall short in our daily actions, especially with money. This question, is designed specifically to bridge that gap, to close the distance between intention and behavior.
And we see this play out in people's lives with remarkable clarity in the book. There's Samuel D., for instance. He had all the traditional makings of a very nice life. Big house, fancy cars, stable, well-paying job.
Sounds good on paper.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yet, internally, he felt perpetually angry and frustrated. Just simmering dissatisfaction.
Why?
Through his diligent monthly evaluation asking these questions, he had this crucial realization. His predominant desire was to contribute something towards solving some of the world's problems. That was his core value, buried under the surface.
Oh. Okay.
This insight led him to make a radical decision. He took a significant pay cut, left the security of the school system job he had, and developed his own private counseling firm. He aligned his daily work, his life energy, with his deeper purpose.
And the anger and frustration.
Dissipated. Because his life energy was finally flowing towards what truly mattered to him, not just towards maintaining a certain lifestyle.
What a transformation. It really underscores that even a seemingly perfect life, on paper, can mask this deep internal dissatisfaction if it's not aligned with your core purpose.
Absolutely. And then there's Elaine H's story. She initially measured herself mainly by externals, focusing on those societal markers of success.
Keeping up appearances.
Right. But this alignment question, it shook her complacency, as the book puts it. It forced her to look inward. She ended up befriending a coworker who was very much a save-the-world type.
Okay.
Which opened her eyes to new perspectives. She joined a peace group. She started genuinely questioning how she could better live her values in her everyday choices, including her financial ones.
So the question itself sparked a whole journey for her.
Exactly. It really shows how these questions aren't just about money. They can open doors to entirely new aspects of your life, sparking this ripple effect of personal growth and discovery.
To help deepen this critical self-reflection on values and purpose, the book actually introduces Viktor Frankl's work.
Man's search for meaning. Such profound work.
Absolutely. And Frankl stated that the will to have meaning and purpose in life is superior to the will to have power or the will to find pleasure. Purpose trumps power and pleasure.
A powerful hierarchy.
Yeah. And the book offers a tool based on this, a purpose in life test. It's Figure 4.1. It's designed as a practical way to help you assess your current sense of purpose.
How does it work?
It includes statements with scales like, I am, usually. And you rate yourself somewhere between completely bored on one end and exuberant, enthusiastic on the other.
Yeah.
Or another one. My personal existence is ranging from utterly meaningless, without purpose, to very purposeful and meaningful. It encourages you to score yourself on these scales.
That forces some honest reflection.
It really does. So for you, listening right now, just taking the time to reflect on those kinds of questions can be incredibly illuminating. Imagine sitting down with that list, putting a number next to each statement. It forces you to confront your current reality against your ideals.
Yeah. Are you closer to completely bored or exuberant, enthusiastic?
Right. And the gap between those 2 points, that's often where the deepest work of financial integrity, of aligning your spending with your purpose, needs to happen.
And the book even suggests an optional fourth question you could add here for even deeper reflection, one that expands beyond just your personal values.
Oh, what's that?
It's, what would this expense look like in a just and compassionate world?
Wow. Okay, that broadens the scope significantly.
It really does. It encourages you to connect your personal finance to global impact, ethical considerations, aligning your money not just with your individual gain, but with a larger vision of collective well-being.
That's a powerful layer to add, challenging us to think beyond just ourselves and our immediate desires. Okay, so let's tackle the third and final question of step 4. How might this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money?
The daydream question.
It sounds like a delightful hypothetical, doesn't it? But the book is quick to clarify. This question is not meant as a judgment on your job or some kind of instruction to quit tomorrow.
Right. It's not about hating your job necessarily.
No. It's described as simply an information gathering process. It's designed specifically to expose those unconscious addictive patterns of spending that are often directly tied to the stress, boredom, or demands of your current employment.
Like the fancy lunches because your job is stressful, or the expensive escapes on weekends because you hate Mondays.
Exactly, those coping mechanism expenses. So the goal here isn't immediate job cessation, although for some people it might eventually lead there. The immediate aim is more subtle. It's to adjust your spending until you have zeros or pluses for all your categories.
Zeros or pluses, meaning?
Meaning every single expenditure either provides positive fulfillment, a plus for question 1, or is perfectly aligned with your values, a plus for question 2, or ideally both. This question helps clarify unequivocally where your money is truly serving your life's desires versus where it's just compensating for a job you might not need if you were financially independent.
Got it. It isolates the work-related spending that wouldn't exist otherwise.
Precisely. And even if you genuinely love your job, asking this question still has profound benefits. The book says it will only increase your job satisfaction because you will increase your certainty that you are there by choice.
Ah, that's a great point. It reinforces agency.
Exactly. It underscores that you're not expressing disloyalty to your boss or dissatisfaction with your job by asking this. You're simply gaining ultimate clarity about the true role of money and work in your life. It transforms your perception of work from maybe an obligation to a conscious decision. That's empowering whether you stay or go.
Yeah, knowing you could leave but choose to stay is very different from feeling trapped.
Totally different feeling. So the book calls this whole process the first step toward reprogramming yourself.
Reprogramming.
Yeah, by bringing those often unconscious patterns of spending, which are frequently coping mechanisms for stress or dissatisfaction, by bringing them into the light of honest evaluation and clear numeric expression, you start to see how much of your spending is truly necessary for your desired life versus how much is simply a way to manage the discomforts of a life you may not fully embrace.
That honest appraisal is incredibly liberating, even if it's uncomfortable at first.
Absolutely. These 3 questions, asked consistently month after month, they really are transformative. They're not just about cutting costs, not at all. They're about intentionally sculpting a life that truly aligns with your deepest self, your core values, and your ultimate purpose. It's this ongoing process of self-discovery and refinement, using your finances as the guide. Now, awareness is obviously a powerful first step, as we've explored with those 3 questions, but making lasting, profound change, that requires cultivating new habits. It takes effort to make it stick.
Yeah, the initial excitement can fade if you don't build structure.
Exactly. The book emphasizes 3 crucial keys to motivation for making this behavior change last. The first is to make it a habit rather than a choice.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means integrating this monthly review process so deeply into your routine that it becomes automatic, like brushing your teeth, the book says. It moves from being this burdensome task you have to force yourself to do to just an effortless part of your monthly rhythm. First of the month, you do your numbers, ask your questions.
Remove the decision fatigue each time.
Precisely. The second key is to be accountable to someone else.
The power of social pressure or support.
Both, probably. This involves making a conscious commitment to one or more people, maybe your partner, a trusted friend, maybe even a small group, that you will track your spending and do your monthly accounting and reflection.
How does that accountability look?
It could be meeting monthly for what the book calls a money talk, or maybe even just checking in regularly. This social support, this external commitment, it can be an incredibly powerful motivator. It provides encouragement, but also that healthy dose of gentle pressure to follow through.
Keeps you honest.
It does. And the third key is persistence. This journey, it's not always a smooth, straight line downwards for expenses, right?
Yeah, like happens.
Exactly. You have to stick with it even through those unusual months where expenses might spike. Things like annual insurance payments, quarterly taxes, maybe an unexpected home or car repair.
Those things can feel discouraging.
They can, but the program frames them as just part of life. The key is to handle them with cash you've planned for and saved, not hide them by whipping out the credit card. Plan for them, integrate them into your financial rhythm, and don't let them derail your consistent practice of tracking and evaluation. Keep going.
That concept of money talks, the accountability piece, seems particularly valuable. And the book suggests it often leads to surprising breakthroughs.
It really does. It encourages having these open, honest conversations with friends or your partner or a small group in a truly no shame, no blame environment.
That's crucial. Money talk is so often loaded with shame and judgment.
Totally. So this space allows you to discuss money openly, share your struggles, share your insights, learn from other people's experiences, and get genuine support. You're not trying to navigate these deep transformations all alone in silence.
You're not there to advise others.
No, that's important. You're just there as a safe listening ear on your own journey, sharing your own path. These conversations, they normalize what is so often a taboo subject, and that unlocks a kind of collective wisdom and encouragement.
Makes sense. So beyond just talking about it, the book strongly advocates for something visual. Oh, yeah. The wall chart.
Yes, or, an online equivalent these days, of course, but the principle is the same. It's about making life energy visible in this profoundly tangible way.
Always on it.
You literally plot 2 lines on a graph each month. Your total monthly income and your total monthly expenses. Simple as that.
Okay. 2 lines.
But the key is its visibility. It needs to be placed where you will see it every day, maybe in your kitchen, your home office. Some people start by hanging it on the inside of a closet door if they want privacy initially.
So it's a constant reminder.
A constant visual reminder. And it's designed to inspire you often to stay on track.
It's a simple but incredibly powerful psychological tool, isn't it? That simple act, that visual representation, it reinforces this profound shift in mindset.
How so?
Well, work, which can often feel like just a drudgery. It's no longer about another day, another dollar. Instead, it becomes about drawing one day closer to their goal of freedom from financial fears and fiscal failures.
So it connects daily effort to the long-term goal.
Exactly. It transforms the daily grind into visible, purposeful progress. It makes that abstract concept of financial independence feel concrete and achievable. You physically watch those lines, expenses hopefully trending down, income maybe steady or up, and you watch them eventually converge. That convergence point, that's FI, and seeing it get closer becomes this daily affirmation of your journey.
And the tangible results of diligently engaging with step 4 with these questions and the tracking, they can be quite astounding. The book shares this anecdote of one participant who, simply by applying these questions consistently, reduced their grocery bill from $359 a month to $203 without even trying.
Well, trying.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
And their restaurant bill dropped to $77 a month from $232. Huge drops.
Okay, but was it miserable? Did they feel deprived?
Apparently not. That's the key. They noted that these shifts happened because they were happier on their jobs, so they needed fewer treats. The conscious alignment they achieved in other areas of life, maybe through asking the values question, naturally rippled into their spending. Less need for compensatory spending.
Wow. So it wasn't about white-knuckling the budget. It was about addressing the underlying reasons for the spending.
Exactly. What's fascinating here is that these profound changes didn't feel like deprivation or a struggle. They all happened gradually as a direct result of increased consciousness and discernment. It just highlights the power of simply seeing and understanding your patterns.
Yeah, and we saw this with Hal End too, right? He cut 50% from his expenses and became a lot happier.
Right. And IVU, who stopped buying clothes she didn't need and felt no less complimented or valued. The insights gained from asking those 3 questions in step 4 directly translated into significant, often seemingly effortless savings and a palpable increase in contentment and peace of mind.
The overall impact really does seem profound. By aligning your spending with this cultivated faculty of discernment, as the book calls it, you unlock financial integrity.
Yeah.
The very act of writing down every cent that comes into and goes out of your life, and then applying these deep questions to that data, the book says it awakens this latent superpower.
A superpower, I like that.
Right. And it invites that superpower, that conscious discernment, to increasingly direct your life. It moves you from that unconscious reactive spending.
Driven by habit and advertising?
To intentional, purposeful living. You're charting a conscious course for your life energy instead of letting it leak away unnoticed.
It's really about becoming the conscious architect of your own financial life, isn't it? Rather than just being a passive participant swept along by the currents of the consumer economy.
It gives you back your agency, your control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, deep divers, brings us towards the close of our extensive exploration of step 4. Wow, we covered a lot.
We really did. It's a dense step.
We've journeyed through understanding that insidious more is better myth, the deceptive path of the fulfillment curve, and we've discovered the incredible, potentially life-altering power of those 3 simple yet profoundly insightful questions.
Simple to ask, maybe not always easy to answer honestly.
That's true. This deep dive into step 4, it's about so much more than just numbers on a page. It's about connecting your money, fundamentally, to your life energy, your deepest values, and your ultimate purpose.
Making the intangible tangible.
Exactly. We've seen how asking these 3 questions each month about genuine fulfillment for energy spent, about alignment with your values, and about how your spending might change if you didn't have to work, how that can provide those blinding moments of awareness.
Like for Ivy and Hal.
Right. These questions expose those unconscious spending patterns. They serve as this powerful feedback system for integrity, and they can genuinely transform your entire relationship with money and, by extension, your whole life.
And ultimately, the goal is clear, and it's deeply empowering. You'll put your life in service to your values rather than putting your time in service to money.
Say that again. That's key.
You'll put your life in service to your values rather than putting your time in service to money. This whole process is about reclaiming your most precious, finite resource, your life energy. and consciously directing it towards what truly matters to you, now and in the future.
Beautifully put. Now, once you've truly engaged with these questions, once you've started to really discern your spending patterns, to feel that clarity and integrity growing within you, the natural next step in the Your Money or Your Life program is to make this financial clarity even more tangible, even more motivating.
Right. Where does it go next?
That brings us to step 5, making life energy visible.
The wall chart step we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Step 5 involves creating that large wall chart or, a digital spreadsheet or app that serves the same visual purpose to track those 2 key lines over time: your total monthly income and your total monthly expenses.
So it's not just a one-time snapshot, but a moving picture.
Precisely. This isn't just another accounting exercise. It's meant to be a constant, highly visible reminder of your progress, your goals, and the life energy you are now purposefully redirecting.
And the power of that visualization is immense, isn't it? Seeing your progress laid out graphically, day after day.
Huge. Watching those lines, expenses hopefully trending down or stabilizing, income maybe climbing or holding steady, watching them move towards that sustainable balance, maybe even crossing over at the point of financial independence. The book says it can inspire you often to stay on track.
Keeps the goal in sight.
It really does. It helps solidify your journey towards freedom. It transforms those abstract numbers into this living, breathing representation of your path to independence, keeping you motivated even when, the going gets tough or a month feels discouraging. So what does this all mean for you, our dedicated listener, as you process all this? Consider this. If your current spending patterns were laid out like a map of your life, what story would that map tell right now? Would it accurately reflect your true values, your deepest joys, your aspirations for a really meaningful life? Or would it maybe reveal paths you took unconsciously? Paths swayed by societal pressures, fleeting desires, or simply the inertia of the daily grind?
A confronting thought.
It is. This deep dive into step 4, it's an invitation to become the cartographer of your own financial landscape. To actively choose the paths that lead not just towards wealth, perhaps, but towards genuine fulfillment, towards the liberation of your most precious resource, your life itself. So the final question is, what new destination will you chart with this newfound clarity?
Thanks for tuning in to the Book Summary Podcast. If you found value in today's episode, hit that like button, subscribe for more summaries, and share it with someone who's ready to grow. Want deeper insights, exclusive book notes, and reading tips? Join our free newsletter. The link's in the description. And don't forget, if you'd like to read the full book, our affiliate link is right below. It helps support the channel and keeps the summaries coming. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing.